If you're a man over 60 and lately your penis feels, well, weaker, slower to respond, or simply not like it used to be, listen closely. Because the real danger isn't just performance in the bedroom, it's what that weakness is silently telling you about your heart, your hormones, and your overall vitality. And what if I told you 5 simple, natural foods you've probably walked past in the grocery store could be the fastest, most powerful fix? I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping older men restore their energy, improve their circulation, and reclaim the strength they thought they lost. And I want to share something most doctors won't. The body doesn't shut down after 60, it just needs better instructions. And some of the most powerful ones come from nature. Here's what's strange. The very foods most older men avoid because they think they're too fatty or not heart healthy are actually some of the best-kept secrets to turning back the biological clock, especially when it comes to blood flow, testosterone, and daily stamina. In this video, I'll show you exactly how 5 specific nuts, yes, nuts, can help supercharge your male performance, energy, and vitality. I'll also reveal the best time to eat them, the biggest mistake most men make, and how a few small changes could shift everything in just days. Let's get started. Before we dive into the 5 powerful nuts that could change your energy and performance, take a moment to subscribe and tap the bell icon. That way, you'll never miss another health tip designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't quite hit the mark, type 0. Your feedback helps me create content that truly supports you. So let's begin with the truth that too many men silently carry but rarely speak out loud. If you've been feeling slower, more tired, or less like yourself in the bedroom, it's not weakness and it's certainly not failure. It's biology. And understanding what's really happening inside your body after 60 is the first step toward changing it. Let me explain. 1. Why most men over 60 feel weaker. And it's not your fault. I remember one of my longtime patients, Bill, 67 years old, Vietnam veteran, proud grandfather. He sat across from me, looked down and said, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore. My body's slower, my energy's gone. In intimacy, it's like a distant memory." And I just nodded because I've heard that story more times than I can count. If you're a man over 60 and you felt your strength slipping, your drive fading, it's not weakness, it's not aging badly, and it's definitely not your fault. What's really happening is something no one prepared us for. After 60, your testosterone begins to decline. Blood vessels stiffen, circulation slows, and your cells stop absorbing nutrients the way they used to. You might wake up tired, feel sluggish in the afternoon, and wonder where your stamina went. Even simple joys like walking upstairs or having a good night's sleep start to feel harder. But here's the good news. The male body is remarkably responsive even past 60. You don't need expensive treatments or risky pills. You just need to give your body the fuel it understands, the kind that speaks to your cells and says, "Wake up, you've still got life to live." That's exactly what I want to show you today. And believe it or not, it starts with something as simple as what's in your kitchen cabinet. Because the first nut on our list has the power to open up blood flow like flipping a switch. And once that flow returns, so does everything else. Let me show you. 2. Walnuts, the bedroom blood flow booster. Years ago, I had a patient named George, 72, who was convinced his intimacy days were over. "Doc," he told me, "I just don't feel anything down there anymore. It's like the switch turned off." But George was sharp, determined, and willing to try something simple. I told him, "Let's not rush to pills. Let's first talk about your blood flow." And I handed him a small bag of raw walnuts. What most men don't realize is that poor performance often isn't about desire or even age. It's about circulation. Your arteries, especially the smaller ones leading to your most private parts, are incredibly sensitive to change. And after 60, they tend to stiffen, clog, and shrink unless you actively support them. That's where walnuts come in. Walnuts are rich in a powerful amino acid called L-arginine. It helps your body produce nitric oxide, an invisible gas that signals your blood vessels to relax and open up. When blood flows freely, energy returns, sensation returns, confidence returns. George started eating a handful of raw walnuts every morning. Within a few weeks, he walked into my office with a grin I hadn't seen in years. "It's back," he said, "not just my performance, but the feeling of being alive again." It's never just about the physical act, it's about reclaiming your sense of vitality, your sense of manhood. And nature, in its quiet wisdom, put that power in something as simple as a walnut. But walnuts are only the beginning. Because the next nut on this list doesn't just open blood vessels, it helps your body reignite the very hormone that fuels your masculinity. And the amount you need? Just one a day. Let's talk about it. 3. Brazil nuts, the testosterone igniter. When I first started looking into natural ways to help older men raise their testosterone levels, I wasn't expecting something so small to pack such a punch. But then I met Harold, a 68-year-old former carpenter who'd been feeling flat for years. "Doc," he told me, "it's like the fire went out. I don't get angry, excited, or anything anymore." I ran a few tests. His testosterone was barely registering, but instead of pushing him toward shots or prescriptions right away, I asked him to try something simple. Just one Brazil nut a day. Brazil nuts are one of nature's richest sources of selenium, a trace mineral most older men are severely deficient in and don't even realize it. Selenium plays a vital role in how your body produces testosterone. Without it, your internal engine slows to a crawl, your mood dips, your energy fades, and that feeling of drive, of manhood, slips further away. But here's the wild part. Just one Brazil nut can provide nearly a full day's worth of selenium. That's it. One. Harold started his mornings with a single Brazil nut alongside his breakfast. A few weeks later, he came in with a spark I hadn't seen before. "I'm back in my garage. I'm fixing things again. I feel sharp." That's what testosterone does. It doesn't just affect intimacy, it restores purpose, drive, and self-worth. But be careful, more than 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day can actually do more harm than good. This is one of those rare cases where less really is more. And while selenium gets your hormones firing again, it's our next nut that fuels the body's energy systems directly, giving you stamina where and when it counts. Let's take a closer look. 4. Pistachios, the energy and erection enhancer. I remember when Tom, a 70-year-old retired police officer, sat across from me and said, "Doc, it's like my battery dies halfway through the day, and don't even get me started on the bedroom." He wasn't depressed, he wasn't sick, but his spark was gone. That deep male energy, the kind that makes you feel sharp, driven, and capable, had quietly faded, and yet the solution was surprisingly simple. I reached into my desk drawer and handed him a small bag of pistachios. Pistachios may seem like just another snack, but they're actually one of the most powerful foods for male energy and performance. They're packed with healthy fats, plant-based protein, antioxidants, and a specific group of amino acids that improve something called endothelial function. That's a fancy way of saying they help your blood vessels stay flexible and open. And when blood flows more easily, especially to the pelvic region, everything changes. Energy, arousal, and even confidence. There was a study that tracked men who ate pistachios daily for 3 weeks. The results? Better erectile strength, greater satisfaction, and an overall increase in physical endurance. Tom took it seriously. He started eating a handful every afternoon, and after just 2 weeks, he came back and said, "It's like someone plugged me back in. I have the drive to finish what I start in every area." And that's what I want every man to know. You're not out of gas. You just need the right kind of fuel. Pistachios offer energy you can feel not just during the day, but at night when it matters most. And as good as that sounds, our next nut may be even more powerful because it helps restore the very hormones that keep your system balanced, focused, and ready for connection. Let's talk about it. 5. Almonds, the hormone balancer. A few years back, I worked with a man named Dennis, 66, divorced, recently retired, and quietly struggling. Not just with energy or intimacy, but with mood. I get irritated for no reason, he told me. I'm foggy all the time, and it's hard to enjoy anything. It wasn't just about fatigue anymore. His emotional balance was slipping, and while many would have rushed to medications or hormone therapy, I knew we had to look deeper at what his body was missing on a foundational level. That's when almonds came in. Almonds are more than a heart-healthy snack. They're loaded with nutrients most older men are silently starving for, especially magnesium, vitamin E, and zinc. These three play a critical role in hormone production, blood sugar stability, and neurotransmitter function. And when they're lacking, it's not just your body that takes the hit, it's your mind, your mood, your motivation. I told Dennis to start each day with 10 to 12 raw almonds, either on their own or mixed into his oatmeal. Within a couple of weeks, he called me and said something I won't forget. I feel level again, like myself, not just stronger, but clearer. That's what proper hormone balance feels like, not a rush, not a jolt, just steady strength. Almonds help your system regulate itself. They're not a quick fix, they're a daily active support. And when you give your body what it actually needs, it begins to show up for you again in every area of life. But here's the thing. Feeling balanced is only part of the story. Because our next nut, it's the silent protector of your arteries and the one food that may help you avoid the slow decline most men mistake for normal aging. You're going to want to hear this. 6. Macadamia nuts, the artery protector. A few winters ago, I got a call from an old friend named Carl. He was 74, widowed, and had always been in decent shape. But lately, he told me he'd been feeling off. No pain, no diagnosis, just a kind of heaviness. I don't feel like I have the same wind in my sails, he said. Even walking to the mailbox feels like a chore. When we ran his labs, one thing stood out. His cholesterol was creeping up and his arteries were starting to narrow, quietly like they do for so many men past 60. I told Carl something he didn't expect. Go get yourself some macadamia nuts. He laughed. Aren't those the fancy ones in cookies? Yes, but they're also one of the most underrated foods for heart health and circulation. Macadamia nuts are rich in monounsaturated fats, the same heart-healthy fat found in extra virgin olive oil. But more than that, they help reduce LDL cholesterol, raise HDL, and decrease arterial inflammation. That means better blood flow, lower pressure, and a body that works more efficiently from your heart to your head to your manhood. Carl added a small handful to his routine, just 4 or 5 a day, nothing drastic. Within a month, he was walking longer, breathing easier, and sleeping deeper, and he told me, I didn't know how heavy I felt until I started feeling light again. That's the power of circulation. It doesn't just move blood, it brings life back to your whole system. But timing matters. When you eat these nuts can be just as important as which ones you choose. And in the next part, I'll show you how to time your intake for the strongest impact on energy, performance, and blood flow, morning to night. Let's keep going. 7. The best time to eat these nuts for maximum male benefit. Over the years, I've learned something powerful from working with older men. It's not just what you eat, it's when you eat it that often makes the difference. I saw this firsthand with Richard, a 69-year-old former coach who had started working nuts into his diet but wasn't seeing much change. Doc, he said, I'm doing what you said. I'm eating the almonds, the walnuts, even those Brazil nuts, but I still feel stuck. I asked him when he was eating them. He shrugged. Whenever, usually late at night watching TV. That's when the light bulb went off. You see, your body's hormonal rhythms shift throughout the day. Your testosterone peaks in the morning, your energy dips mid-afternoon, and your blood flow is at its best in the early evening. If you align your nutrition with those natural rhythms, you amplify the benefits. So I gave Richard a simple plan. In the morning, take your Brazil nut and almonds, kickstart testosterone, improve clarity, and support your hormones. Around midday, go with pistachios and walnuts. Boost your energy and circulation when fatigue usually hits. And save the macadamia nuts for late afternoon or early evening when you want to calm inflammation and support your heart heading into rest. He followed that routine. And within 10 days, everything started to shift. He called me and said, I feel like my body's finally listening to me again. The truth is, your body always listens. It's just waiting for the right message. Now, as powerful as these 5 nuts are, there's one mistake I've seen over and over again that silently cancels out all the benefits. And it's probably something you're doing without even realizing it. Let's talk about that next. 8. The number one mistake men make when eating nuts. A few months ago, I had a man named Leonard come in. 71, sharp as a tack, very disciplined. He said, "Doc, I've been eating all the nuts you recommend. I haven't missed a day in 3 weeks, but I don't feel much different." I asked him to bring in the nuts he was eating. The next morning, he placed a large plastic jar on my desk, salted mixed nuts roasted in canola oil with dried fruit and bits of chocolate mixed in. That's when I realized what was going wrong. You see, most men mean well, but the problem lies in how those nuts are prepared. Salted, roasted, flavored, or sweetened nuts may taste great, but they often cancel out the very benefits you're after. Salt raises blood pressure and stiffens blood vessels, exactly what we're trying to fix. Sugar causes inflammation, which slows blood flow and disrupts hormones. And many store-bought nut mixes are roasted at high temperatures in unhealthy oils that damage the good fats you actually need. I explained all this to Leonard and gave him one simple instruction. Switch to raw or dry roasted unsalted nuts, just pure, whole food. He looked a bit skeptical, but he agreed to try. 2 weeks later, he returned and said, "Now I feel it. My energy's different, my body's lighter. I sleep better and I actually look forward to getting out of bed." That's the power of doing it right. Nature gives us the tools, but we have to use them as they were intended. And now that you know what to eat, how to time it, and what to avoid, there's just one more thing I want to leave you with. Because this isn't just about food, it's about who you are as a man and the life still waiting for you. Let's bring it all together. Conclusion. If you've made it this far, let me say this from the heart. You're already doing something most men don't. You're choosing to learn, to take control, and to age with intention. And that matters. We've covered a lot together. We talked about why most men over 60 feel weaker, not because they failed, but because their bodies are quietly missing what they need. We looked at 5 powerful nuts: walnuts for circulation, Brazil nuts to reignite testosterone, pistachios for energy and stamina, almonds for hormone balance, and macadamia nuts to protect your arteries and heart. Then we explored how timing makes all the difference, and how the biggest mistake isn't in what you eat, but in how it's prepared. But beneath all that science and nutrition, there's a deeper truth I want to leave you with. You are not done, not even close. Your body still responds, your strength can still return, and with just a few simple changes, you can feel more alive, more capable, and more like yourself again. This isn't about chasing youth, it's about owning the years you've earned and feeling good in the skin you're in. So don't just listen. Take action. Pick one nut. Add it today. Build from there. Because the next chapter of your life, it's still being written, and it deserves your full strength. I'm Dr. James, and I'm proud to walk this road with you. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Click the like button. It helps more men like you find this life-changing information. Share it with a brother, a friend, or anyone you care about who's over 60 and could use a boost in strength and confidence. And I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let me know which nut you're going to try first, or if you have a question I can answer in future videos. Your voice matters here. And if you believe in the work I'm doing and want to support more content like this, consider making a small donation through the link in the description. Every bit helps me keep this channel growing and serving men just like you. Stay strong, stay curious, and thank you for being here.